Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's chant one round Japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Vrinda. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. We were reciting Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, text 27. Does anyone need to go first?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. 9:27. Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Prabhupada.
Dhanavad Pranam Prabhuji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi, yat tapashyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva madarpan. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, Do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva mad arpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Thank you, Mataji. Medha will read Mataji, if that's okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yat karoshi, yat ashtashi, yat juhoshi, tadashi yat tapasyasi kanteya, tat kurusva madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we'll go in order. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat, Prabhuji. Yat karoshi yad ashnasi,
Yat karoshi, yat asnashi,
yad juhoshi dadasi
yat juhoshi dadasi,
yat tapasyasi kaunteya,
yat tapasyasi kaunteya,
tat kurushva madarpanam.
tat kurushva madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, that, O son of Kunti,
Do that.
do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita are not going to read?
Mataji are stuck, so they might be not able to attend.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure. Inba Inya, Jai Shri Mataji, Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yad karoshi yad ashnasi, yad juhosi, dadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you. Inya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yat karoshi yad ashnashi, yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yat karoshi, yat ashnashi, yat juhoshi, tadashi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. Translation, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you.
Jai Shri is not here.
Okay. Lokesh. Actually, Madhava. That's a prayer. Lokesh, you're ready? You can go. It's okay. If you're ready, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yat karoshi yat asnasi, yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Thank you, Mataji. Lokesh is in restroom, Mataji.
Okay. So next, Madhava and Rasapriya.
Yat karosi yat asnasi, yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurusva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Rasapriya.
Yat kurosi yad asnasi yad zuhosi dadasiyat yat tapasyasi kunteya tat kurusva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Okay. Krishna Shish is here. Veda is done. So, Prabhuji, Suhrit Spurti Mataji are there.
Yes, Mataji. 1 minute.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Spurti.
Yat karoshi yadasnasi yat jahoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushvasana madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, you're welcome. Anyone else is going to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandas Pranams, Srila Prabhupada.
Dandat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Yat karoshi yad ashnasi yad juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you. Suhrit?
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Yat karoshi yadashtashi yajuhoshi dadashi yat tapasyashi kaunteya yat kurushva madarpanam. Translation. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, so anyone else? I'll recite Bhagavad Gita 9.27. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So yesterday we were discussing about this verse. Whatever we do, any type of work that we do, it should be offered to Krishna. And then day before yesterday we discussed that how one of the Navayogendras, Kavi, says any type of activity, even if it is dushkarma, vikarma, whatever you do, it has to be offered to the Lord. And the purpose of his saying that is to give an opportunity to everyone, all types of people, to enter into bhakti. So this type of bhakti, that which you, it's just karma, it's work. But that work, when you offer it to the Lord, aropa. Aropa means what? Like, it gets, that karma gets the label of bhakti. By offering that karma to the Lord, that karma gets the label of bhakti. It is also called bhakti. Aropa siddha bhakti. So Kavi wants to give this opportunity to everyone. Therefore, any type of work you do, you just offer, he said. Usha Mataji, you're raising your hand.
Sorry, Mataji, I think it was from before. I forgot.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Then so there are 9 Navayogendras. So then the last, after this is said, finally, one of the other Navayogendras, Avirhotra, says, actually you should do only Vedokta karma, right? That means that karma which is prescribed by Vedas, that is the best. And that when you offer to the Lord, there is an additional benefit there. When you do only that work which is prescribed by the Vedas and you offer it to the Lord, then you will become free from the bondage of work. You will actually get liberation also. So that we discussed yesterday, why we should do work which is prescribed in the Vedas only, why not other types of work. We discussed that already yesterday. Remember? Pramana, right? Vedas is the highest pramana. There cannot be any fault in the statements of the Vedas. Anyway, so that part we discussed. So now the next question is, but Kavi said, So here the point what Avirhotra is saying is, yes, so he's not negating what Kavi said. You can offer if you're doing some sinful activity because of your nature, right? Or because of your circumstance, whatever. Now you're doing that work which is not prescribed in the Vedas. Initially, it may be okay to offer that, but not that you just say, you justify, oh, Kavi said, so all my life I will just be doing this work only and I'll be offering it to the Lord. That's not right. Because of your whatever samskaras, or you are in that situation where you're not able to come out of it, you're offering it, but you should try to come out of it and you should try to do Vedokta karma. That's the injunction there. Now, so if somebody is offering that work which is not prescribed by the Vedas, somebody is even doing sinful activity, should he offer sinful activity? According to Kavi, yes, sinful activity also, whatever activity, it should be offered. Now, while considering this, there are 3 points, 3 types of people that we should see. One type of person is, he's simply a karmi or kami. Kami means he has material desires. He wants to enjoy material desires. That's one category of person. So everyone in this world is doing some work or the other. Okay. So everyone means those are the only 2. So totally in this society, there are 6 types of people altogether. 6 types of people. First type is Ashuddha Bhakta. Second type is Ashuddha Jnani. So these 2 people don't have to do any karma. Shuddha Bhakta and Shuddha Jnani, they don't have to do any karma. Shuddha Bhakta does only bhakti and Jnani does only jnana. He won't do any karma. But there are 4 other types of people who do work. Who are they? One who is aspiring to become Shuddha Bhakta. That's all of us. At least that should be all of us. Our aspiration is we want to enter into Shuddha Bhakti. Then of these 4, the second one is one who is aspiring to enter into Jnana. 2. The third type is one who is an outright karmi. He has no interest in jnana or bhakti or anything. He's simply sense gratification, right? Enjoy life. Eat, drink, be merry, right? But he does that according to the Vedic injunctions. He's a karmi. So don't think that anyone who is, even a brahmana can be a karmi. Don't think simply becoming a brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra means now we are already devotees. That's a karmi. Karmi means you follow Vedic injunctions. But your motivation is what? My motivation is sense gratification. I want to live happily. And after this life, I want to go to Swarga or some more comfortable place. I want to be a king, so on and so forth. My desire is, after all, in this world, enjoy in this world. That's a karmi. But karmi means he will do only work which is prescribed in the Vedas. So that's the third category. Of the 4, this is the third one. And the fourth category is Vikarmi, which is, I think, most of the people in the world today. Vikarmi means that they have no understanding what the Vedas are asking us to do. And, we do whatever work, right? We are taught in schools and whatever they are inventing, and then we just get jobs. All types of jobs are created and we are working, right? There's no guiding principle of the scriptures for them. Vikarmi. So these are the 4 types of people who do karma. Vikarmi, karmi, aspiring devotee, aspiring jnani. They do karma. And 2 other people are there, bhaktas and jnanis. They don't do any work. They don't have to do any work. That's another discussion, but we won't get into that. Mainly our interest is, these are the 4 people who are doing work. And Krishna is saying, Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat. You offer your work, Krishna is saying. So who will offer work? Only that person who's doing work will offer, right? So these 4 people are doing work. Work means karma. Now don't tell me, what about devotees? They also cook, they also eat, they also, so what? That is not work? No, that is bhakti. When is that bhakti? You're cooking for Krishna. That is an anga of bhakti. So again, now you question, if am I a pure devotee? Am I cooking only for Krishna all the time? And my whole purpose of cooking is to satisfy Krishna, or am I thinking, I'm hungry, let me cook? Okay. So anyway, so these 4 types of people. So aspiring devotees who want to enter into pure devotional service, they also do karma. So anyone who does karma, they should offer. It is said you should offer to the Lord everything, whatever work you do, it should be offered to the Lord, and you should only do Vedic work which is prescribed by the Vedas, and that work has to be offered. But what if I'm not doing work prescribed by Vedas? What if I'm even doing sinful activity? The consciousness differs on the type of person. The consciousness of an aspiring jnani is different. Consciousness of a bhakta, aspiring bhakta, is different, and the consciousness of a karmi is different when he's offering sinful activities or vikarma to the Lord. So the difference between karmi and vikarmi is karmi is offering prescribed duties, vikarmi is offering unprescribed duties. Okay, and karmi can also be doing nishiddha karma, right? He's doing prescribed activities, but in the Vedas there are some activities which are prohibited. You cannot do, and because of his nature he's doing that. Let's say stealing or drinking wine, this is not prescribed, but still he's doing it. He's a karmi, but still he's doing some dushkarma, so he has to offer that also to the Lord. Why that has to be offered, we'll understand now. Okay, one point I want to make here is we are aspiring devotees, so don't take the example of okay, when I explain to you, you'll understand what is the consciousness of karmi, what is the consciousness of a bhakta, what is the consciousness, bhakta means aspiring, okay, and what is the consciousness of an aspiring jnani when he's offering dushkarma to the Lord. Everything should be offered. First question that will come to you is why he will even do dushkarma? Yes, because we are not yet in Shuddha Bhakti or in Shuddha Jnana. So we have still baggage, samskaras that we are carrying from past. We have a particular swabhava, nature, because of which we are still committing. Sometimes we may end up committing some prohibited activities. It's like you remember India, you remember the verse in Bhagavad Gita, Arjun says, Athakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojita. It's as if somebody is forcing me to act in a sinful way. That happens. It's your nature, your swabhava is forcing you to act in a sinful way. What to do? You end up doing that, and then you have to offer that work. Whatever you do, you offer to the Lord. What is the consciousness? So let's look at karmis first. Karmi or vikarmi, because most people qualify for that only. Today we'll only discuss that. We won't discuss jnana and bhakta. We'll discuss karmi's consciousness. What does a karmi or kami want? He wants sense gratification. So those who don't offer any work, what type of result do they work? Which is most of the people. Without offering to the Lord, they do so many types of activities, right? From even sleeping at night is also activity only. You're sleeping, right? And then you wake up in the morning, up to going to bed at night, you do so many activities, different types of work you're doing. Why do we do work? We want some result out of that work. That's why we do work, isn't it? So this person, a karmi who does not offer to the Lord, he does work because he wants result. What is the nature of work? The nature, this is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, text 8, 5, 47, if you are interested. Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 5, text 47. Klesha bhuryalpa sarani karmani viphalani va dehinam vishayartanam na tathaivarpitam tvai. What this verse is saying, klesha bhuri. Bhuri means full of. Klesha means kashta, suffering. Karma involves a lot of hard work. All of us have this experience. Karma, any work you do, it involves a lot of hard work. Alpa sarani, sara, the result that you get is alpa. After so much hard work, the fruit that you get is very meager. This is the nature of karma. So those who don't offer to the Lord, they do karma, they do such hard work, and finally they get the result, very meager result they'll get. For that they have to work so hard. And also, if there is any defect in that karma, then they don't get any result at all. What to speak of meager, no result. For example, a farmer, when what is his goal? He wants to get harvest at the end of the season. Let's take a rice field, right? So much work goes into that. First, he has to prepare the soil. For rice, they even have to flood the field, and then first they have to broadcast the seeds. Then, small plants come. Then they have to take that out and they have to transplant it into the field, and then they fertilize it, and from time to time they have to remove the unwanted crops and protect it from pests and water it from time to time, right? And once the flowers come, then you have to protect it from animals, right? Cattle can come inside and eat. And finally you get the seed and you harvest it, and then you get your result. So much work is involved in getting the result. After the flower is formed, before the grain, if there is a heavy storm or shower, the whole crop is finished. All that hard work that you did throughout the season is finished. No result, zero result. Many farmers even commit suicide. Do you know that? Because they take loans to start a crop, especially commercial crops like cotton, etc. We hear from time to time farmers, because the whole crop is lost and they have taken so much loan to hoping that the result will come, and finally, because of not getting that, they don't know what to do. They even commit suicide. So this is the result of karma. There's no guarantee that you'll get the result. And even if you get the result, if you compare it with the amount of hard work that you do, the result you get is very meager. And even that little bit result also, there's no guarantee. Sometimes, because there will be defects in your karma, if there's some defect, the whole thing is gone, no result. Now, what happens to somebody who offers his karma? How is it better to offer your karma to the Lord? Here we are not talking about devotee. There's no question, no concept of I am an eternal servant of the Lord. You may or may not have that. That's not what we are talking about. Everyone is doing work in this world. Everybody is doing work. The same work, when you offer to the Lord, then what is the result? That's being explained here. Now, when somebody offers his work, first of all, your work does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Jaise taise, somehow or other you do that work, okay? And you offer it to the Lord. The result also you're offering to the Lord. You're offering that whole work to the Lord. You do your work to the best of your capacity, whatever you're able to do. See, generally when you go for a job or something, there's a standard, right? They expect this. You have to meet that expectation. Not that, oh, you don't have so much capacity, for you it's okay, we will let you go. No, they set the standard. Unless you meet this standard, we don't accept it. But here, when you are offering it to the Lord, according to your capacity, the best you can, whatever you can, you do somehow or other, according to your capacity. And then you offer it to the Lord. And then you say, my Lord, I've done my best. Now it is up to you. You give the result. What happens? First thing, the fruit is guaranteed. The result is guaranteed when you offer it to the Lord. You don't have to work so hard like you work in a regular karma. The result is guaranteed. Not only the result is guaranteed, but in addition to the result, you will get freedom from the bondage of work. That work will not bind you to this world. Because of doing that work, you don't have to come back and take birth in this world. Otherwise, every work that you do, it is binding the soul to the body. You have to come back again and again. Every time I work, that knot which is binding the soul to the body, it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. That means you are bound to come back and take birth in this world again if you don't offer your karma to the Lord. Everyone must offer their work. Whatever work they do, they should offer it to the Lord. It is to their own advantage. So karmi, somebody who's a karmi who wants to enjoy the results, it is for his benefit if he offers to the Lord, because if he did not offer, apart from whatever we discussed before, right, meager, sometimes no result, that work is also binding him to this world. It's binding him to this world. But if he offers it to the Lord, there's no bondage. So therefore, Varnashram system means everyone in the society has to offer work to the Supreme Lord. Ataha pumbir dvijashreshta varnashrama vibhagashah swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Bhagavatam 1 to 13. Right? The perfection of dharma, of your duty, whatever work you do, is when the Lord is pleased by that work. You do that work and you offer it to the Lord and you say, my Lord, please be satisfied with this work. That's all. So that's what I wanted to explain about karmis, why they should offer their work. Whatever the work they do, why it should be offered. It is in their best interest. If they didn't offer, it's going to bind them to this world, and even the results they may or may not get. And even if they get it, after so much hard work, very little they'll get. But if you offer it to the Lord, you'll get. Now, in the case of devotees, it is different. And also the result that you get by, we discussed that before also. But the results, even material results which you get by offering to the Lord, they are auspicious. Why they are auspicious? They don't bind you. You enjoy the result, but that does not bind you to this world. So, in Varnashram system, everyone, it does not matter whether you're Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whoever you are, everyone offers their work to the Supreme Lord. And by offering, that work turns into bhakti called Aropa Siddha Bhakti. So today for this verse, this much discussion only we will do. There's a lot more discussion. If we get time, every day little, I can expand on that. But why karmi should offer? In short, I can tell you one more point here. For Gyanis and Bhaktas, what is the consciousness of a Gyani when he offers dushkarma? Gyani means one who's aspiring to be Gyani. So you see, one who's aspiring to enter into Jnana, what is his goal? He wants to go and merge into Brahman. Okay. He wants to go and moksham, what do you call? Go and merge into Brahman. So his abhyasa, his practice, his sadhana is that I am a spirit soul. I am separate from this body. I am separate from this mind. My position is I am Atma. And this body, this mind, it is all made of this prakriti, the three modes of material nature. I have nothing to do this material with this material nature. I am actually Atma. Therefore, whatever is coming in this material world, whether good activity, bad activity, happiness or distress, or victory or defeat, loss or gain, a friend or enemy, all this is after all material. I have nothing to do with all this. This is material, prakriti. These are all coming from the material modes, whereas I am a spirit soul. I am separate from all this. So with this, he tries to develop this type of consciousness. So at the basis of his knowledge is I am Atma, I am not this body. So therefore anything related to the body, I don't care. So I have to do work. The purpose of doing work is to offer that to the Lord and become free from my reactions to work. I want to be liberated from this, right? So his goal of offering is antahakarana shuddhi. What is that antahakarana shuddhi? He makes his heart like his heart, hridaya, like a stone, hard like a stone. In what way? Whether someone dies in the family, or there's a wedding in the family, or there's a child born in the family, whether it's happiness or distress, no emotions. He'll train his heart in such a way. Whether there's poverty or whether there's opulence, no difference. He'll train himself like this. For that, whatever work he does, he'll do and he'll just offer everything to the Lord. He'll offer it to the Lord. But he's not offering out of love. He's offering because he wants to become free from all this. Detached. He wants to be detached. He wants antakarana shuddhi. So by practicing sadhana like this, so that's why whether he's doing good activity or bad activity, which he's doing because of his past samskaras. So then you may question why he's doing bad activities. If he's not interested in the fruit, what is the need to do sinful activity? Isn't it? Sometimes because of samskara, people do that. They have such samskaras, they control, like Arjun says, right? By force, I'm forced to do. Like that, it happens. So even if they do something like that, they don't regret. That's the point. They don't feel sorry. Why I did like this? No, they don't have that feeling. To them, whether it is good, bad, whatever, just offer everything. I have nothing to do with this. That is Jnani's consciousness. With that consciousness, he will be offering everything, even sinful activity. Now coming to aspiring bhakta, this is our concern, isn't it? Mataji, bhaktas means we should only be doing Harinam and we should only be worshipping the Lord. We don't have to worry about karma, isn't it? We don't have to worry. Karma doesn't bind us. Once we take Diksha, we are free from karma. Have you heard like this? When we take shelter of Krishna, now karma does not act on us. Why we have to worry about what karma we are offering, what we are not offering? Yes, that is for a Shuddha Bhakta. Shuddha Bhakta, what is his condition? Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. There's no other desire save and except pleasing Krishna at every moment. Jnana Karmatam. I'm not doing any karma, I'm not doing any jnana. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Favorable mood, I'm doing Krishna, so devotional service to Krishna continuously 24/7. If you qualify, if you have all these qualities, then you don't have to do any karma, you don't have to offer any karma. But the thing is, all of us are doing karma. Are we not doing karma for our maintenance, livelihood? We have to pay our rent, so we work and all that. And do we feel, unless I work, how I will maintain my body? You don't have to raise your hands, but honestly, you question yourself. Do you actually feel, unless I do this work, how I will maintain myself in this world? I have to work, I have to do some work. As long as I feel that way, it's another thing. Somebody may be doing it simply to set an example. That's a different thing. That's why this is the consciousness in the heart. We cannot judge from outside. But individually, we can see what is my consciousness. If my consciousness is, I have to work and this is my child, I have to provide for my child, I have to do this. As long as we have these thoughts, that means we are still doing karma. And if you're doing karma, so the bhakti part that you're doing, you're chanting your 16 rounds, you're going to the temple, that is bhakti. Nothing wrong with that. But that bhakti should be done 24/7. I'm not able to do 24/7. I do 2 hours, I do 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. But some other, the remaining time I'm doing some karma, maybe some jnana also. Maybe some of us are doing some yoga asanas and maybe some meditation and maybe controlling mind exercises like that. You may be doing, I don't know. So you are doing some jnana, some karma. While doing that, offer it to Krishna. That's the point. That's the point. Whatever karma that you're doing, you offer that to Krishna. That's all. If you're not doing any karma, if you're doing only bhakti, now you make simple. You can ask, what is bhakti, Mataji? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. And there's furthermore 64 limbs. Nectar of devotion you read, Srila Rupa Goswami gives. Cleaning the temple and all that. These are all bhakti, direct bhakti. Other than these 64, whatever else work you are doing, you offer that to the Lord. Why? Because that work is not inherently bhakti. It will become bhakti when you offer it to the Lord. It will become bhakti when you offer it to the Lord. But if you don't offer it to the Lord, that part of your work will still bind you. That's all. So when a bhakta, now we are bhaktas, aspiring bhaktas, now we want to, no, we are supposed to offer, and we also have some from before. We may be doing some, actually we should not be doing, but if we are doing sometimes some sinful activity, what should be the consciousness? That also has to be offered. Let's say I end up watching some movies or something, right? Or I go and eat outside in the restaurant something, or whatever else, right? So things which are forbidden for me, still I'm doing. Then you offer that also to Krishna. But what is the consciousness of the devotee when he's offering it to Krishna? That's important. What is the consciousness? The consciousness is, this devotee feels very, very heinous about himself. He'll feel that, my dear Lord, I'm so fallen. I don't, because of my, I don't have any power. I'm forced, right? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I'm being forced to act like this. I don't have any control on this. And like this, he takes shelter of the Lord. So first of all, that first step is very important. Feeling bad, dukhit ho jana. He'll feel very, very bad about it. He'll feel so sorry that I'm doing something like this. That should be there. So it's not that, oh, Kavi said I should offer everything, so chalo, now I'll do whatever I feel like doing, and sarvam narayanaya samarpayati, like that. Will that work? That's cheating. What will happen if I do that? That is also there. That point is also, yes, probably I'll take 1 minute. So that is also there. If I don't feel bad, huh? In my heart, I'm not regretting, I'm not repenting that I'm doing something like this. And I just give this justification to myself also and to others also, that what to do. I don't have an option and I'm just doing this, and it's okay. Luckily, in the Shastra, it is said, in Bhagavatam, it is said, you can offer it to the Lord. So I'll offer it to the Lord. Now I'm free. Because when you offer some karma to the Lord, you don't get any reaction. That's what it is said. You offer it to the Lord, you're free from that reaction. So I'll keep doing this activity and I will offer it to the Lord. I won't be bound in this world. Very good. You won't be bound. But what is happening when you do that type of activity? Your heart becomes hard. Your heart becomes hard like a stone. It won't be soft anymore. Each time you do that activity and you think it is fine, you don't repent, your heart becomes harder and harder and harder. And in a hard heart, there cannot be any bhakti. So what is happening? What are you sacrificing by doing that? You're sacrificing your bhakti. You are aspiring to enter into bhakti, right? Bhakti is compared to bhakti lata bija, right? A seed. And your heart is compared to a field. Those of you who have experience with farming or gardening, heart is compared to a field. When does the seed grow nicely? When the soil is nice and soft, then the seed can nicely, germinate and come up as a plant. If it is very hard, rock-like, the seed does not have a favorable, conducive atmosphere to grow. So therefore, if we do activities which are in the modes of passion and ignorance, which is practically all work, right? Ugra karma, all different types of work. And what to speak of sinful activities. And if we don't even feel bad about it, if we think it's fine, this is how it is. And then if you don't offer, we already saw, if you don't offer, you get bound to this world. Again, repeated birth and death. And you think, oh, I'll offer it and then I'll just continue my life like this. I won't even think about how to improve it. I'll put the burden on the Lord and I'll just continue. Yes, you may become free from the reaction, but your heart becomes hard. You won't be able to enter into bhakti. Your heart becomes hard. That is the problem. Therefore, first step is you should feel very bad about it, that I'm doing it. Then obviously, if you're feeling bad, you will be endeavoring to come out of that. But sometimes the conditioning is so heavy, you cannot come out of it. But you feel sorry. You keep feeling sorry. And you take shelter of the Lord. You beg forgiveness from the Lord. Go fall in front of the Lord. You beg forgiveness. My Lord, I don't have any control on this. Please forgive me. You help me out of this. Please forgive me. I don't want to do this. Like that. So in that repentive, right, heart which is repenting, then by the Lord's mercy, you overcome that conditioning and you can move forward and your bhakti will flourish. Achinta Dev Prabhu.
Mataji, if you want to finish this up, because I don't want to interrupt your flow of thoughts.
No, I finished. That's why I came to you.
Okay. So Mataji, you gave the examples about watching a movie or eating outside in a restaurant, etc. So in most cases, there are various reasons why somebody would do that. One is using his free will and going out. The other is environmental reasons. Maybe he's in an office where everybody has to go.
Yeah.
And also in case of a grihastha, depending upon family members, there somebody may be are devotees, some may not be devotees, some may be devotees but with different thought processes. So here, how does one control that?
Yes.
As it
So depends. Many factors are there here, Prabhuji. So the first and foremost important thing is individually, if you're thinking, what is your Shraddha in? That is, you have to look at your heart. Am I doing it because of the circumstances I'm forced to do it? Again, when you say I'm forced to do it, who is forcing you? We can ask that question also. Again, it's a helpless condition, like you said, it's work, right? You are part of that and you have to work, and your livelihood is dependent on that work. You have dependence on you whom you have to maintain. For that, you're doing this job, and to do this job, I have to do these activities. What to do? Then the condition that I told you just now will apply. You are regretting because first thing is, I understand this should not be done. But if I take all these excuses means they're genuinely their causes. And if I say, because of these reasons, I have to do what to do, it's okay, I will do, then heart will become hard. But if you are genuinely feeling this is not to be done, but I'm doing it, and the reasons that you said, I'm doing it because of this, because of this, because of this, which are beyond my control. I cannot. As far as family is concerned, again, depends on who you are, right? If you are the person who's the head of the family, then you can gradually train the other members, uh, again, step by step, gradually. Like if we go once a month, then you'll try to cut it down to once in 2 months, and then cut it down to further like that, and gradually come to a zero halt. If you have that position, because you know that is not to be done. But if you are in the position, you are the child in the family, the parents are going, you don't have a control, you just have to go. There also, everyone is an individual devotee. Then that is that child's helpless condition, like this employee's helpless condition. A child's helpless, so child can pray to Krishna. You pray to Krishna that I know this is not supposed to be done, but I'm forced to come in this situation. Krishna, please forgive me and please get me out of this situation. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Krishna is looking at our intention. You understand? So there are many, many, many circumstances. We can go down the list of examples, right? Sometimes parents are at home. Their upbringing is different. They are used to certain types of things. You do it for their sake, but you yourself should not take pleasure in that. And your motive of doing it for them also should be to somehow or other gradually bring them out of that, not that pamper them that yes, this is good, you too, it's fine. No, even if you're giving it to them, the gradually your intention is to help them come out of that. And meanwhile, you have to be careful about not being influenced by that yourself. So like that. So ultimately your consciousness is important. Am I doing it to set an example to others? Like when I go outside with family, I want them to become favorable to Krishna consciousness, and they really want this. So okay, right? So I mean, I shouldn't be saying these things because I'm sitting here and speaking from Shastra. Shastra does not recommend going and eating outside. It does not. So that's actually out of question. But somehow we are all trained, right? Because of these bad samskaras, we are all trained like this in our past lives. And we are doing those things. Then how to offer it to the Lord? You should regret. The person, whoever hears this, should regret when you're doing that. You should not say, it's okay, somebody else is doing, so I can also do. We should never say that. We should never say that. And then when you regret, your goal is to come out of that whenever possible. And how can I come out of that? I sincerely take shelter of Krishna. I beg forgiveness from Krishna. And I should try to come out of that. What do you say, Achintadev Prabhu?
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. And sometimes, as you said, it's not in your position to. Yes. Sometimes it's not in your position. That's absolutely understandable, right? It can apply to anyone, where I myself, I'm in a helpless condition, and Krishna is there right in the heart. He understands what is genuinely a helpless condition and what is, where I'm actually making an excuse because I want to enjoy. So when it is like that, our only recourse, our only shelter is Krishna. We feel sorry for what is happening, but we pray to Krishna, beg for forgiveness. So these two things, feeling sorry genuinely, begging for forgiveness from Krishna, and praying to him to help you come out of this. This every single person can do.
Yes, Mataji. And also, just a thought that, as you said, your thought process in terms of not getting pleasure out of that activity that one is doing. And yes, circumstances and to prevent discontentment about individuals around who need that. One sometimes does that, but yes, you are not taking pleasure out of that.
Correct.
Because
that is called setting example. And even Vaishnavas sometimes can do that. Simply to set example to others. Set example means you're doing the work. You don't need to do work yourself, but you work to teach others how to work properly. So they do things to set example, like karma kanda, for example. Family is trained in karma kanda. They do demigod worship and this and that. And you are a daughter-in-law in that house. You just get married. You come into this family. And then what to do? So if you say, this is all wrong, Bhagavad Gita says this, what is the influence? What is the effect that you're having on the surroundings, on the people around you? By your behavior, are you making them favorable to Krishna consciousness, or are you making them further go away from Krishna consciousness? What type of preaching am I doing? So keeping this goal in mind, even if I am doing it for others, why am I doing it for others? Am I actually trying to help them come to Krishna consciousness by sometimes indulging with them to win their confidence, to win their love, so that eventually I will bring them to come to Krishna consciousness? Or am I risking myself by doing this and I'm getting pulled towards that? So that you have to be careful. But as you said, yeah, taking pleasure, that should not be there. Sorry to interrupt you, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
No, Mataji, you're absolutely right. So, and also, the people around you, if the discontentment increases and they react, that also they are earning karma for that, right? Because so that also
not karma. Now it will become offense also, because you're a devotee, right? Here we are talking about a devotee who's aspiring to be a devotee and how he feels sorry. So this condition is applied. So if the people around this devotee are becoming discontent, their karma is there certainly, but even worse, they're increasing their offenses, which will choke their bhakti.
Thank you.
Okay, so we didn't even start Bhagavatam yet, but this was an important point. So I told you today about this verse, Yat Karoshi Yad Ashnasi Yad Juhoshi Dadasi Yad. About this verse, I told you the three types of workers. Actually, I said there are four types, but Karmi Vikarmi, we took them as one. So three types of workers. What is their consciousness when they are offering sinful activity? So now let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8. I think we completed the chapter yesterday, and also we started. Yeah. So this chapter is entitled chapter 22, 8:22. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So last chapter was Bali Maharaj is arrested by Lord Vishnu. So now Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So we are doing text 1. Who's supposed to read today? Jai Ganesh Prabhu, I remember. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Viprakrito Rajan Balir Bhagavatasuraha Vidyamanopya Bhinnatma Pratyaha Viklavam Vachaha.
Shukadeva Goswami said, O King, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead was superficially seen to have acted mischievously toward Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj was fixed in his determination. Considering himself not to have fulfilled his promise, he spoke as follows.
So what happened previously? After he was arrested with Varuna Pasha by Garudaji, Vamandev said, "You promised me 3 steps, but you gave only 2 steps. According to Shastra, anyone who promises a beggar to give something and he goes back on his word, he's not able to fulfill his promise, then he has to go to hell." So, in accordance with that, and also as per the curse that you receive from Shukracharya, now you have to go to the lower planets. You go to Sutala, like that. And then, how did Bali Maharaj respond to that? Bali Maharaj was fixed in his determination. We also read he was a truthful person, right? He didn't mind. Well, I think that we read in the beginning of this, so we'll just continue reading. Yeah. So when Vamandev said you'll go to hell for this, how did Bali Maharaj respond? Huh? So although the Supreme Lord superficially, O King, all superficially seen to have acted mischievously, isn't it? After taking everything from Bali Maharaj, arresting him and then sending him to hell or sending him to a lower planet. So the Lord is acting mischievously. It appeared like that externally. And so if somebody is cheating you, let's say, you go to shop and mostly here, I don't know if you have such experiences, but in India, let's say, you go to shop and something which is worth 50 rupees and they'll say it is 500 rupees, right? And you figure out he's cheating. What will you do? Arey, you're cheating me? Like that, right? So Bali Maharaj could see Vamandev came, he said 3 steps, and then he gave everything he had, and after that he's arresting and he's sending him to Sutala planet. How did Bali Maharaj respond? Did he say you're cheating me like all the other asuras? They picked up their weapons and they rushed to attack Vamandev. Bali Maharaj stopped them, right? He said, this is not our time. Time is not, the Supreme Lord in the form of time is not favoring us now. There's no need, no point in fighting. So Bali Maharaj, in spite of all this, he was fixed in his determination. What was his determination? I promised 3 steps of land. I was only able to give 2. I must give 3 steps. So he's thinking, I have not fulfilled my promise. That was his consciousness. It's true, I didn't fulfill my promise. That's what he's thinking. And what did he say? Sri Baliruvacha yadyuttama shloka bhavan mameritam vacho vyalikam suravarya manyate karomyritam tanna bhavet pralambhanam padam tritiyam kuru shirshni me nijam. Translation. Jai Shri Mataji is there?
No, Mataji.
Isha? Krishna Ashish?
Bali Maharaj said, "O best personality of Godhead, most worshipable for all the demigods, if you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. I cannot allow my promise to be false. Please, therefore, place your third lotus footstep on my head."
Yes. So this is where the other day Saujanya Mataji was saying, Bali Maharaj offered his head, right? Yeah, he did. So this is where. So he said, if you feel that I have not fulfilled my promise, right? I don't want my promise to become false. He's actually saying, oh, best personality of Godhead. Of course, when Vamandev showed his Virata form, it was obvious to everyone, this is the Supreme Lord, right? So he said, oh, best personality of Godhead, most worshipable of all the demigods. Yeah, if you think I was not able to fulfill my promise, or my promise became false, because I promised 3 steps, I gave only 2, that means my promise became false. If you feel that way, then I'm going to rectify matters, or I'm going to correct myself here. I cannot allow my promise to become false. So therefore, you've taken 2 steps. The third step you can take on my head, and that will be explained why that is still not part of the rest of the property. Purport. Madhava is here. Okay, purport.
Bali Maharaj couldn't understand the pretense of Lord Vamandev.
who had taken the side of the demigods and come before him as a beggar. Although the Lord's purpose was to seat him, Bali Maharaj took pleasure in understanding how the Lord will seat his devotee to purify the devotee's position. It is said that God is good, and this is a fact. Whether he seats or rewards, he is always good. Bali Maharaj therefore addressed him as Uttama Sloka. Your Lordship, he said, you are always praised with the best of selected verses. On behalf of the demigods, you disguise yourself with seeking, saying that you wandered only 3 paces of land, but later you expanded your body to such an extent that with 2 footsteps you covered the entire universe. Because you were working on behalf of your devotees, you do not regard this as cheating. Never mind, I cannot be considered a devotee. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of the goddess of fortune, you have come to me to beg. I must satisfy you to the best of my ability, so please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. I still have my body. When I place my body for your satisfaction, please put your 3rd step on my head. Since the Lord had covered the entire universe with 2 steps, one might ask how Bali Maharaj's head could be sufficient for his 3rd step. Bali Maharaj, however, thought that the possessor of wealth must be greater than the possession. Therefore, although the Lord had taken all his possessions, the head of Bali Maharaj, the possessor, would provide adequate place for the Lord's 3rd step.
Yes, this is actually a principle. It's very, I mean, we kind of oversee this, but actually the possessor is different from the possession, right? So let's say, what can I say? Okay, I have a phone. Huh? So this phone, I possess this phone, but I'm different from this phone. So if I've given you my phone, that does not mean I've given you myself also. Makes sense, right? There's creation and there is creator. The creator is outside of the creation. The creation cannot create itself. There has to be a creator who is creating. We have an experience of this in our life, day-to-day life. Anything you see, this is a pen. This pen is somebody else created it. Can the pen create itself? No, right? So someone else has created it. Similarly, this creation is so as soon as you see creation, immediately you should understand there is a creator who's outside of this creation. Then your question should be, who is that creator? What is his personality? Where does he live? What does he do? This is Atatho Brahma Jigyasa. You should ask, right? Who am I and what is this creation and who is the creator of this creation? So similarly here Bali Maharaj is offering his head. If he has offered everything, then what about himself? He was the possessor of all this property. Yes, he was the owner, possessor. So he gave everything that he possessed, but still he was there. So now he's offering himself also to Vamandev. That's why he said, if you think that my promise has become false, I don't want my promise to become false. Please, you put your 3rd step on my head and let my promise be fulfilled. So what else is Bali Maharaj? One more very nice point, right? Our acharyas really churn and bring out the, all the jewels. So see here, the Lord's purpose was to cheat Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj, being a devotee, he took pleasure. He actually took pleasure in the Lord's cheating him. The Lord is apparently coming as an enemy. He is coming on behalf of the demigods because the demigods lost their kingdom. They are all now hiding here and there. So the Lord came to return that heavens back to the demigods. So he came on behalf of the demigods from the enemy's side to take everything away from Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj is taking pleasure in the Lord's cheating him and taking everything from him. This is a devotee, right? Because the Lord is absolute. So whether he steals, whether he runs away from the battlefield, these things are considered abominable normally in this world. Whether he dances with others' wives, things which are considered to be immoral in this world, they cannot be immoral in the Supreme Lord. because he is absolute. There cannot be anything bad, anything wrong in him. Everything is absolute. Good and bad exist in this material world. In the transcendental plane, there is nothing bad or nothing good. Everything is transcendental. Similarly, papa and punya, piety and impiousness, that happens in this material world. On the spiritual platform, there is no punya, there is no papa. There is only bhakti, there is only prema, like that. So, when the Lord does something, first of all, he won't do anything with anyone else. His dealing is only with the devotee. Bhagavan comes to deal with the devotee only. The other things are taken care of by his, you know, by his energy. But yeah, so the devotee also, he sees the love of the Lord in such dealings. So even though the Lord is apparently acting mischievously, taking everything away, Bali Maharaj is taking pleasure in that. He's taking pleasure in the Lord's cheating because even his cheating is very attractive to a devotee. So he's addressing the Lord and saying, you are always praised by the best of the selected verses, right? You say Makhan Chor, right? And you say Ran Chod, somebody who ran away. But these verses glorifying the Lord. You're always praised by the best selected verses. You have come here to cheat me. You asked for only 3 steps of land, and then you became so big, covered everything, the whole universe in just 2 steps, right? But still, it's okay. It's fine, right? This is a relationship of love. You cheat me, you do whatever you like. I don't mind. Because, of course, I'm not a devotee. Bali Maharaj is saying here, see, never mind. You wanted to cheat me, it's okay. I don't mind. Of course, I cannot be considered a devotee. I'm not your devotee, right? I'm a Daitya. I cannot be considered a devotee. But still, because you're the husband of Lakshmi Devi, you have come to beg, come to me to beg, and I must satisfy according to my ability. So he's not saying, I'm giving this to you because I'm your devotee and I'll surrender everything to you. He's saying, no, I'm not a devotee. But still, you came to me to ask for something, right? So when somebody comes, especially come as a Brahmana, then you must give. Because although being the husband of Lakshmi Devi, that's the point. Lakshmi Devi is the possessor of all opulences. She is the goddess of fortune. All fortune is coming from her. And he's the master of that, Lakshmi Devi. And still is coming like a beggar to ask for something from me. That means you took such a humble position. Imagine, right? Somebody is the prime minister or president of a country, and he goes to some rich man and he says, please give me some donation. He's taking such a humble position. So you are the husband of the goddess of Lakshmi and you're coming to beg me. I must fulfill whatever you're asking. Not that I'm your devotee, I'm not your devotee. You cannot consider me a devotee. I don't have any qualities of a devotee. But you have come, you have humbled yourself to beg something from me. I must fulfill whatever you're asking. Huh? So therefore, please don't think that I wanted to cheat you, right? So I want to fulfill my promise. I promised 3 steps, I will give you 3 steps. I only gave you my possession, right? I still have this body. The possessor is different from the possession. So you put your 3rd step on my head. And in this way, I will fulfill my promise. You take what you want. That is Bali Maharaj's mood. So we will stop Srimad Bhagavatam reading here. So Madhava read. So Rasapriya will read tomorrow. And let's read Bhagavad Gita. We read about happiness in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance yesterday. If you remember, happiness in goodness is that which is like poison in the beginning, but is like nectar in the end. And also it gives rise to self-realization. Happiness in passion is that which is arising from sense gratification. That means senses coming in contact with sense objects. Whatever pleasure you get, that is happiness in passion. It's like nectar in the beginning, but it becomes poison in the end. And happiness and ignorance means it's delusion from beginning to end. It's against the principle of self-realization. Now we'll read the next verse. Please repeat. 1840. Natad asti prithivyam va divi deveshu va punaha
Devi Devi Swapanah
tatvam prakriti jairmuktam
Tattvam Prakriti Jairmuktam
yad ebih syat tribhir gunai.
Yate Bhikshat Tribir Gunai.
There is no being existing
There is no being existing
either here or among the demigods
either here or
in
among
the
the
higher
demigods,
planetary systems
higher planetary systems,
which is freed from these three modes,
which is free from these three modes,
one of material nature.
one of material nature.
There is no being existing either here on these earthly planets or in the higher planets who is freed from these three modes. Yes. Nobody is free from the three modes of material nature. Purport. The Lord here summarizes the total influence of the three modes of material nature all of the universe. So this is the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So after this, there'll be further discussion. But here the Lord is summarizing about the three modes of material nature. So we saw happiness, we saw understanding, then we saw the worker, right? In three modes, all that was discussed in this 18th chapter. Renunciation, like that. Now let's read Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita, continuation. So remember, Srila Prabhupada came across this international conference that they were going to have in Japan, and Srila Prabhupada sent a letter that he would like to speak, and they actually liked the idea. And then Srila Prabhupada proposed that he had 50 commentaries. So his idea was from Srimad Bhagavatam, the autumn season, right? He would take examples from there and commentaries, how that will be, the acharyas have given that, and how that is compared to the present situation. So he wanted, if there's anyone who's able to give paintings or illustrations to these 50 commentaries, and they thought it was very interesting, they accepted. They also sent a letter for the government of India to sanction the visa to Prabhupada so that he can go to Japan during that time and make his presentation at that conference. Now Srila Prabhupada has to collect donation for his travel. While he's there, they will pay for his stay and his food and everything, but the plane ticket travel was his personal expense. So I'll just continue reading. So just last line is the light of the, he wrote directions from which an artist could design a painting to go with each lesson from the picture, 50 pictures and commentaries. Bhaktivedanta Swami felt would make an impressive display for visitors at the convention. The convention organizers liked the idea. As for your proposal to get pictures drawing by artists, according to your suggestion, the institution department of the Congress will immediately take people disposal for it under the full consideration of about some specimen idea of picture which will be given to us by you. So I should like to get them as soon as possible. Okay, so you just give us a sample, and then we will arrange for somebody to actually make the pictures ready for you for the presentation. Bhaktivedanta Swami worked quickly to produce a 20,000 word manuscript, 50 lessons for 50 illustrations. The pictures were to depict the forests, fields, and skies of Vrindavan during the rainy season, and the lessons were sometimes criticisms of godless governments, materialists, and false religionists, sometimes assertions of moral principles and God consciousness, and sometimes depictions of Lord Krishna and his eternal associates in Vrindavan. So using the statements from Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada is bringing out these points. What points? Criticism of a godless government and materialists and false religionists. What else? Assertion of moral principles and God consciousness. And the third one is also depicting Krishna's pastimes with his eternal associates. From these 50 commentaries, he's bringing out all these points. Everything went smoothly between Bhaktivedanta Swami and the sponsors in Japan. The problem was to raise the travel fare. He approached the likely sources, writing to the central government's Ministry for Scientific Research and Cultural Affairs. He presented his certificate from Mr. Nakano and explained his position as a sannyasi. In late March, the ministry sent him a form to complete and return. Time was getting short. On March 29th, he wrote the Vice President, Dr. Radhakrishnan, with whom he had a speaking acquaintance as well as a philosophical difference. You know that I am a sannyasi without any relation with bank. Neither I am attached with financing institution. But the Japanese organizers have liked my literatures and they want me to be present there. He pleaded that since the great acharyas of India had formally presented their knowledge for the benefit of the world, the Indian government today should send representatives of the acharyas to deliver the message of Atma or the human spirit. He also wrote the deputy manager of Scindia Steam Navigation Company in Bombay, reminding him of his deputy manager, huh? reminding him of his 1958 offer to give a 50% concession on a ticket to the United States. After explaining his invitation from Mr. Nakano in Japan, Bhaktivedanta Swami pointed out that the full round trip fare to Japan would be less than half the fare to the United States. Trying all possibilities at once, and with less than a month and a half before the convention, he wrote to another potential donor, Mr. Brij Ratan S. Mohatta, who had once expressed his willingness to send Bhaktivedanta Swami to South America when an Indian sponsor there had written expressing interest. At that time, Bhaktivedanta Swami had been unable to get the proper certification from the Indian government. But here, he explained, was a new opportunity to present the message of the Vedic literature to an international gathering of interested people, and passage to Japan was less than to South America. On the same day he wrote to Mr. Mohatta, he also mailed his completed form to the Ministry for Scientific Research. In answer to their question as to why he was asking for a donation and whether he had done so before, he replied, before this, I never asked the ministry for any financial assistance as there was no need for it. As sannyasi, I can ask for financial help when there is absolute necessity. Our life is dedicated to render service to the humanity at large for reviving the dormant spiritual consciousness. So we'll stop there. I'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all so much, devotees. Hare Krishna. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. And yesterday evening, I'm sorry I didn't log in. Isha was supposed to send a message to all of you that we wouldn't have Chaitanya Charitamrita class. I think she didn't send it. My apologies for that. But today evening we'll have Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hare Krishna.